Welcome back, everybody, to the Art of Ram. Swamp Trog here at the legendary third layer. It's Valentine's Day. Time for your pro trick of the year. The Art of Ram, teaching the world how to skateboard. Today we're talking about inverts, going upside down. As Jeff Grosso says, a lost art form out here, all right? So, if you don't know what an invert is, I'll let you know right now. You're gonna go up the ramp, you're gonna flip to your back hand, your front hand's gonna reach down, grab mute on the board. That's a grab with your front hand between your toes. You're gonna flip upside down, spot your landing and ride away. Sounds easy. It's not that easy, but it's also not one of the harder tricks. Couple things. First, as you can see, the bottom of the bowl here, we got a wood bowl made out of Baltic birch. There's a lot of debris at the bottom of the ramp. You're going to clean your own ramp, all right? To get this trick, you got to be confident. You want to take out, eliminate all barriers that could be in your way. One thing could be debris in the bottom of the bowl. It could be just slippery, all right? So first, start by doing that. Again, as always, you want to have you're going to be able to drop in, obviously, on a ramp that's taller than you. Now, inverts are going to be a lot easier to learn on taller ramps than shorter ramps. Something that goes up to vert. This goes right up to vert, all right? This is an 8.5 foot radius, 8.5 feet tall here. So that's the first thing. Be comfortable dropping in, slash grinding. It would help if you had like a back truck bonk land on the deck. To get this done, and also if you got backside airs, that's going to really help you too, all right? So the first thing I like to talk about with this trick, after I get this pile cleaned up, as you can see, is quite a bit of debris right there, is how important it is to knee slide, all right? If you do not have knee slides mastered, wired, cat-like reflexes, I would not even start trying this trick. Now, I know there's going to be some riders out there that just don't ride pads. They're really good at flipping maybe and running out of stuff. That's fine, ride at your own risk. But to make these vert tricks go down easier, full pads, all right? Navarrete says it best, time to pad up for battle, all right? Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're getting into battle here with this invert. So, to get our dust collected here, let's start talking about it. One thing I like to do and that helped me, let me tell you a little bit about my first invert. And just so you know, this is going to be a long video, okay? There's a lot to go over. I went on YouTube, I looked for how to invert videos. There really isn't anything very extensive. That's where we come in, the Art of Ram. We teach you how to skateboard, kids. We're going hardcore today. So get used to the bottom of the bowl, you know, and the height of your ramp. The more you spend in the bottom of your bowl, the smaller it's going to look over time, okay? So that's the first thing that helped me. Now, the first time I landed, I learned this trick in one day, one session at a demo, and probably took me 25 tries maybe to get the first one, all right? It was on an 8-foot ramp, right to vert, all right? So again, the more vert, the easier it's gonna be, but you can also do it on a big transition wall, something with 8 feet, that's 8 feet tall, all right? So the first thing you wanna do, let's talk about learning this knee slide and what to do. A good thing to do the first couple times is probably just to run up on your feet, turn backside. You know what? I'm regular footed, so I'm going to turn to the right, plant my right hand down on the ground, and then push myself through into a knee slide. It's going to look like this. So it's going to be kind of weird if you're at a skate park doing this, but just remember, we want to learn tricks quick and not like 3,000 tries on this one, not even 303 tries maybe, you know, but more than likely it'll probably take you 30 tries to get this because there's a lot of motions and a lot of things that need to happen. So let's get to it. Here we go. First things first, I'm gonna run up, I'm gonna plant my backhand, knee slide down. All right, that's probably a good way to start, all right? Do that a couple times. I'm gonna grab the board here. All right, so I'm actually gonna hold the board mute as if I was gonna be doing an invert this time. Keep the board with me, all right? Great way to start practicing. Knee slide down. When I'm up there, and I plant my hand, I flick it through. I push through this invert, That's what's gonna keep me, or that's what's gonna flick me back into the ramp, okay? One more time. Slide down, all right? Hold the board. Okay, next thing you can do, I didn't really do much of this, but I think probably do a little bit of this, is just under the coping, getting the motion, all right? So as I come up on the board, get my pump going, I'm thinking about how I'm gonna lean back into a tail stall almost as I'm going up the ramp, all right? Because I'm gonna have to flip up into this invert. So, I'm gonna be leaning back on that foot as I come up. I'm gonna early grab this first time just because that's the only way to do it, I believe, under coping. Get some speed. Get low, grab view, scoop off. All right, that's the first steps of doing the invert. That's how you can do it under coping. Let's try a little higher. Get low. Hit the tail, slide the hand, whatever. Now, again, if you watch any of my videos before, I'm all about on the exhale, okay? On the exhale. When I'm doing that, I'm timing it on the breath out. All right, here we go. Continuing on. Foot placement on this. What I like to do with my feet is I like to have a little wider stance. I guess I call it riding stance. Toes over the edge on the front, toes over the edge on the back. Now, it's hard to ride like that in a bowl. If you've ever ridden a bowl, if you're pretty good at riding a bowl, you're kind of back more so in this bowl riding stance, I call it. But for these kind of tricks, you kind of got to get into a vert stance, all right? Your toes are going to be over. You actually want to bend your toe over, be able to bend your toe over the tail of the board to scoop it around when you're up in the air, okay? So what we talked about is getting used to that knee slide so far. Practicing some early grabs, scoop off the tail. You're doing a forward tail stall, which is not a lot of tricks are going to be doing this. Forward tail stall, all right? Grabbing mute. Now let's actually bring it back because I really want this to be in depth for you guys, so you guys don't have to like fill in any of the blanks. So let's start with the head. As I approach and I'm down and I'm about to snap into that invert, what I want to do with my head is start leaning it back over my back shoulder. That's step one, all right? Now, as I'm doing that, I'm not looking for the board, all right? The board's just naturally going to snap up into my hand because I'm getting low and doing that tail stall or that blunt out almost. So my head's going back and my eyes are looking down for my landing, all right? And at that same time, you're also spotting your hand plant, okay? So backhand's gonna plant, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for in your peripheral vision, you can see the coping, but you're staring down where you're gonna land, okay? So that's where your head and your eyes go. As you're going up with your shoulders and your hands, now we're here, all right? As I'm coming up the ramp, what I like to do a lot of times is cross my arms, all right? I learned this from Ian Levine, a Minnesota vert legend. From him doing it, the way I was doing it, I kind of had my hands out. He does this arm cross thing. I started trying it and it really works. So as I'm approaching the ramp, looking up at that coping, my arms are crossing, all right? Because what I want to do is hit that back wheel, bend down for the grab, and at the same time, as I'm grabbing, I'm starting to reach down and flip into the plant. So I hope that makes sense. So as I come up, I do that kind of motion. I unwind, uncross my arms. Coming up, snap back, all right? You're gonna wanna be flexible for this. I can't tell you guys enough about your skateboard, like being healthy on your skateboard. This is, you wanna come into this trick fueled up, got some food in you, your mind's good. You didn't spend the last night partying. You want to be really focused on this because it is kind of a dangerous trick going upside down. The bail is super easy if you're really good at knee sliding, but still you want to be in the zone, all right? And again, the trick isn't terribly difficult, but it does take a lot of skills to put this together, all right? So here we go. So we got the arm cross. We were talking about that, swooping it around. And when we actually get some clips and do some slow-mo, you'll see that a lot more. All right. So we talked about head, eyes, shoulders, arms. Weight as I'm coming up the ramp, all right? Now we're talking about what kind of weight distribution and transfer has to happen here. Just like most tricks going forward, you're gonna wanna have your weight forward. As you're going up the ramp, your weight is on that front leg. The weight transfer is gonna happen right as your front wheels approach the coping. You're gonna start transferring the weight into the flip. You're getting low, now you're getting onto the back leg, and you're gonna use your back leg to scoop the board upside down. Hand's gonna be planted, grab's gonna be mute, as we've been talking about. And that's where now we're in the middle of the trick. We're up into the invert at this point, all right? So the weight starts, again, I'm gonna start probably with a pivot. On vert, I like back Smith for this to set up. It's just a great speed. And with the invert, the speed is everything. Too much speed, fly out to the deck. Sometimes you can actually air and miss the coping. Too less of speed, or not enough speed, your board's gonna go over the coping onto the deck, or you're gonna just not be able to straighten out your arm, okay, when you're up in the plane. And we'll get into a little bit of that. And again, bear with me, guys. This is a long trick tip video, but it takes a lot, and I want to just make sure that we're thorough with what we're teaching you guys. All right, so talked a little bit. We've talked pretty much through where the weight goes now. Remember, keeping that weight forward to the last second when you're going to snap it up. And just for this is just a generalization in skateboarding, that when you do a trick, it has to be like a lightning response motion with your entire body at that one precise moment. So as we know, as skateboarders, timing is everything. And that's probably the hardest part about learning new tricks, is figuring out the timing of everything, all right? So stay with it. Don't get too bummed out if it doesn't happen right away, or if you're not like getting up into the flip, or you're not getting into the knee slide. Adjust something. If it doesn't happen that first try, you're gonna have to adjust something, all right? That's what I always tell you guys. So keep that in mind, all right? Don't get frustrated. This is a battle we're fighting, all right? This is a vert trick. This is a professional maneuver. You're getting freaking gnarly out there, all right? So have fun with it. All right, so we're up here on the top of the deck now, all right? Looking down, ramp's clean. Been building up my skills, doing some early grabs, getting the motion, practicing my inverts. Let's start trying some, okay? So we're gonna be talking about the bail. Before we do that, let's talk about while we're actually upside down, okay? So as we're coming up the ramp, again, we're doing that tail stall, AKA maybe like a blunt stall. We're riding through the coping. One of the most important things here is keeping your plant arm straight, all right? Too much speed, again, you're gonna air out, drop down onto it. Too much speed, you're not gonna be able to like really push that arm straight. You don't have to be strong in the arm to do this trick, because the momentum's gonna throw you up into a position where your arm is gonna be straight. That's what you're looking for. With the grab now, you got a good solid grab on this mute, and all you're doing is pivoting around the arm, all right? And if you've done the backside air, you're gonna have the feeling of coming in with weight on the front foot. Like most tricks going forward, it's the same thing. You gotta have that weight transfer back from now we're scooping back onto the back leg, up into the invert. Now we're centered on our board. We're pivoting around our arm is straight. We're looking down where we wanna go, and we're holding that board up into us. We're pulling that board up into us as much as possible. Keep it stuck to our feet. Hopefully our feet haven't moved around during this. And it's time for the release to come in. We're eyeing it up. We're coming in hot. And as we get in, we're almost aiming for our hand, and we're just gonna let go, and we're gonna push through with our arm, all right? I hope that makes sense to you guys, but as you go up, again, just plant the arm straight, have that board grabbed in, suck tight, and then on the way in, hold it, hold it, hold it. You're turning through. That should be a very natural feeling. And pull, push off the wall. Follow through with your back arm, okay? Most of the dudes from the 80s, when doing inverts, were really rad. Everyone was doing them. That's what you see them doing, pushing through it, all right? So let's talk about it. I'm gonna go through the bailout pattern. We're just gonna go full throttle into this. I'm gonna set up, and probably gonna set up with a pivot, come back around, go for the invert, all right? And we're gonna just check out this knee slide, how I get in. This is how you want to practice. You want to do it. When I learned it, I probably did 10, 15 of these, all right? And then I was going for it, and I took some slams for sure, but they weren't hard. I didn't get hurt. I just got sort of bumped around down there. So here we go. Head in the game, focus. You know what you're up to accomplish. Let's get it. On the exhale. On the exhale. 8.5 foot ball at third layer. Here we go. Get used to the ramp again. That's going to be your typical bailout for it, all right? You're going to get up into it, arms straight, push through, get to the knee slide. Hopefully you never clip your toes on the coping, all right? Holding the board all the way down. So as you can see maybe from that view, I had the board up in the air and then I stepped off that back foot. I always want to try to plant that back foot and step into that knee slide. So important. All right, well, I think that's going to give you all you need to know on the sort of the movements of everything. Let's see if we can put one down for real. All right, so we've done a couple bails. It's going to get to the point, it's like, okay, I'm feeling good. I think I can put this down. I've been sucking the board up, got my arms straight, my timing's right, my foot placement is right. As I'm approaching, my weight's on my front foot. I've got the flip, looking back, you know, dipping my head back over my back shoulder. I just want to talk real quick about the difference between doing this on a vert ramp and doing this on a ramp that goes right to vert. So on a ramp that goes right to vert, like the bowl here at third layer, I'm actually trying to not bonk my wheels as if I was on a vert ramp. I'm actually leaning back and scraping my tail up and through. That's what I'm aiming for, all right? So the motion is I'm going up and the board is coming up upside down like this. And then with the hand and the pivot, I'm turning it from, it's flapping actually completely horizontal and then it has to get back into this vertical so we land in the transition going straight, right? Again, as we ride away from anything, keep that weight forward and stay low, all right? So I'm not gonna lie, this isn't like a trick I do a lot in a bowl, but this is all I got right now. I took down that vert ramp in the back and this is all we got. So we're doing it on this ramp tonight and I hope you guys enjoy this, all right? I hope this gets you to your goal of landing inverts for the first time, at least helps you on your way. Other than that, thanks for watching. Subscribe below. Let's put one down, all right? Make some comments. We love hearing your comments. What kind of tips and tricks you're battling, or like what are you battling when you're out there trying it? Send me a comment. I always get back to you guys, and thanks for watching. Let's get it. Setting up with my foot in place. I don't want to be moving my feet around as I'm approaching, coming out of a wall. I want my feet in place when I drop in. First wall trick, I want the feet to stay the same spot. Time to go for it. Ram it down. So better always to fall forward than backwards. Yes, it hurt my hip a little bit, but not too bad, all right? Another tip for this is just keep your mind clear. Stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish out there. Going upside down, going back into the ramp. It's pretty extreme, it's heavy. Stay focused, you know. I took a slam, took a couple bails. Try not to be too hard on myself. Do the same. So there's the land. It took me about 5 tries, all right? It's gonna take you guys a little bit more the first time, but stay with it. Like, declare to yourself, this is what I'm gonna do today at the skate park. That always goes a long way, all right? So set the goal, review all the steps to getting there. Keep that arm straight, turn around it, bend your knees. On the exhale, you're gonna be feeling good. I wanna thank Ryan Orlando for filming this on the new iPhone 12, baby. wow, this is probably the highest quality production we've had. And happy Valentine's Day again from the third layer. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon with some more trick tips.